Sorry, sis. Your hubby making over 20K every month is mine now. My sister Alyssa laughed hysterically while saying that. Is she misunderstanding something? She was the one who stole my husband and even got pregnant with him. But she doesn't know that I, wearing a white coat, was in the examination room. You? Why? Why are you here? Well, because I'm the doctor. Yes, you finally realized that, don't you? I'm the doctor here, not him. My name is Wendy, 37 years old, and I'm a doctor. I work in the OBGYN department, where I see patients every day. People come to the hospital with various problems, and I prioritize providing appropriate examinations and ease their anxieties. Wendy, how's your day going? Here, I brought lunch. Oh, sweet. Thank you, Mark. Mark is my boyfriend, and he works in a clerk in the internal medicine department. We were classmates in high school. We coincidentally met again when I started working at this hospital. He used to be the quarterback of the football team in high school, and even received a university recommendation. He aspired to become a professional player, but that dream faded away. After graduating from university, he had various jobs, and he started working as a clerk at this hospital 2 years before I came here. I never expected to meet our former classmates here, so it felt like fate to me. Since then, we started going out for drinks after work. I felt our bond gradually growing stronger. And one day, he confessed his feelings, and we started dating. Our relationship was good. He was skilled in cooking, and whenever I visited his place, he would always prepare delicious meals for me. Being a doctor is a highly stressful job, so I appreciated him cooking nutritious meals for me. We practically lived together, so we decided to get married at that point. Our parents blessed our marriage. It seems that my in-laws were concerned about the disparity in status between a clerk and a doctor when it came to Mark and me. But honestly, I didn't care about such things at all. In this day and age, it's strange for anyone to worry about which spouse earns more. I loved Mark, and I wanted to marry him, so I didn't want him to feel any guilt because of that. When I explained this, my in-laws seemed relieved and politely bowed their heads. I thought they were very kind and good parents. From then on, Mark and I smoothly proceeded with our wedding preparations, but there was one problem. That problem was my sister Alyssa. To be honest, Alyssa and I don't get along well. The majority of the issues stem from her. Alyssa was objectively quite beautiful, while I, to be honest, was average in terms of appearance. Because Alyssa was praised and fawned over due to her beauty, her personality became quite unpleasant. She had a tendency to claim everything for herself and had a noticeable arrogant attitude. Our parents treated both my sister and me equally, but Alyssa apparently despised that. Why do I have to be treated the same as you? Everyone should treat me better. As a sister who could get anything she wanted, she looked down on me because of my plain appearance. I disliked being belittled by her and studied hard to find something I could excel at. Thanks to that, my grades improved significantly, and I was able to enter medical school. However, once I left home for university, she lost all interest in me and we grew distant. Even now, she doesn't seem to know that I am a doctor. She knows I work at the hospital, but she thinks I'm either a clerk or a nurse. But that worked out well for me. If she found out that I was a doctor, she would likely come to me for money or ask me arrange mixed parties with doctors and such. So I told my parents that they didn't need to inform my sister about my profession. Knowing about our strained relationship, my parents understood. Well, in the first place, my sister never bothered asking about me. But I felt it was common sense to inform her about my upcoming marriage. So I called my sister for the first time in a while. What? Even though it had been a while, my sister answered the phone with a very cold attitude. If she's going to take that kind of attitude, then I'll respond in a curt manner too. I've decided to get married. Then what? It's about the meeting between both families and the wedding. Not coming. Bye. With that, my sister hung up the phone. It's true that our relationship is really bad, and this is how it turns out. When I explained the situation to my parents, they were exasperated. I'm sorry. I guess we'll be even more distant from now on. She's also married and has her own family, right? And true to her word, my sister didn't participate in the meeting between both families or the wedding. I honestly told Mark and my in-laws the whole story and apologized. They said they didn't mind at all and accepted, which was a relief. After that, Mark and I started our newlywed life. We had already been living together, but being newlyweds seemed to have a certain magical effect, and every day felt incredibly fresh. I deeply felt happiness of married life and thought to myself, so this is married life. My husband cooks delicious meals for us every day. But I couldn't just let my husband do all the housework. So I took care of the cleaning, laundry, and other chores. On our days off, we went on drives or trips, and our time together as a married couple was fulfilling. Every day was truly happy, and I felt that I would continue to enjoy delightful days with my husband forever. And about 6 months after getting married, we attended the year-end gathering at my parents' house. To my surprise, my sister was there. I hadn't expected her to come to this family gathering.
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Mark, Wendy's husband.
Wendy's husband? Huh. I thought you would be more dull, but hey, you are a good-looking guy, aren't you?
Oh, thank you.
My sister had already been drinking. She had a bad habit of acting inappropriately towards men when she was drunk. Hey, Mark, wanna pour me a drink?
Oh, sure. Here.
Oh no, it spilled. Jeez, you're so clumsy, Mark.
Sorry.
That's how my sister acted, using a flirtation tone and trying to seduce my husband. Well, my sister is already married, and my husband knows I'm here, so nothing should happen, right? I try to avoid talking to my sister as much as possible and focused on my meal. I wanted to relax and unwind at home, but my sister there, I couldn't find peace of mind at all. The next day, while we were in the car on our way home, my husband said something unexpected.
Your sister is a wonderful person, isn't she?
What? It seemed like my husband had a positive impression of my sister. Could it be that she said something flirting about him yesterday, and now he's feeling pleased with himself? I was a bit disappointed in my husband, and at the same time, I had an uneasy feeling. After we got home, I decided to call my mother. Hey, Mom, is Alyssa still married, right? When I asked that, I received a surprising answer from my mother. Oh, that! I forgot to mention. That girl actually got divorced recently.
Huh?
She left her husband and came back home.
She did?
I was shocked to hear this unexpected news. I had assumed that my sister was simply visiting for the new year, But it turns out she got divorced and came back home. I felt my anxiety growing rapidly inside me. About 3 months had passed since I reunited with my sister. And then my husband said something to me.
Oh, by the way, isn't your mother's birthday next month?
Huh? Mom's birthday? How come? As I responded that way, my husband visibly became flustered.
Oh, whoa, yeah. You mentioned it a while ago.
Oh, is that so? I found it suspicious. Could it be that my husband has been in contact with my sister or meeting her? Actually, we used to go home together after work. But recently, my husband has been leaving early more often. And on his days off, he would often mention plans with his friends and go out alone. Could it be that he is meeting my sister? So maybe that's why he knew the dates of my mother's birthday. So, what about Mom's birthday?
Oh, well, I thought it would be nice if we all celebrated together. Either at your parents' place or going out for a meal.
If I had no concerns, my husband's suggestion would have been very pleasant. But if he has that kind of relationship with my sister, then he probably just wants an excuse to meet her. I decided to accept my husband's proposal for now and said I would ask my parents about it. And so, it was decided that we would all go out for a meal on my mother's birthday. Since my sister was also joining, I decided to observe the interaction between my husband and her. They seemed quite cautious and didn't engage in any obvious flirting or intimacy. But that only made it more suspicious. My sister is the type who goes after what she wants, especially when it comes to pursuing someone she's interested in. So, the fact that she was treating my husband normally probably meant that they were already in that kind of relationship. I contemplated hiring a private investigator, but before I could do anything like that, my husband and sister approached me to confess their affair. It happened on a day off. My husband, who had been out in the morning, came home with my sister. And then, my husband kneeled and apologized to me.
I'm sorry. Alyssa is pregnant with my child.
What? I was shocked by the words that went beyond my imagination. I had suspected that they were having an affair, but I never expected her to become pregnant. Seeing my surprise, my sister seemed satisfied or even triumphant, and she said, "Well, it ended up turning into a situation where I'm taking him away, huh? But he fell in love with me, so there is nothing I can do about it, right?" In an instant, my love for my husband disappeared. I don't want a man who would easily fall for temptations of such a foolish woman. So you were going to divorce me and marry Alyssa?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Although my husband said it with his mouth, his face didn't seem apologetic. He appeared strangely happy at the thought of having a more beautiful wife than me.
So, I can't stay here anymore. I go pack my things.
Saying that, my husband went to his room. Then my sister approached me and said, "Sorry, sis. Real happy making over 20K every month is mine now." My sister said that and burst into laughter. I don't come to understand what she was a misunderstanding. There is no way you're allowed to live a wealthy life. I should be the one marrying a rich man and living an easy life. I see. Could it be that my sister thinks my husband is a doctor? I chuckled inwardly. My sister is mistaken, and my husband is hiding the truth. I no longer have any attachment to my husband. And imagining my sister's reaction when she learns the truth, it was difficult to hold back my laughter.
Well, then, I'm leaving. We'll discuss the divorce another time.
Saying that, my husband left with my sister. I immediately hired a lawyer and proceeded with the divorce and claiming compensation. And eventually, my divorce from my husband was finalized, and my compensation claim was granted. After that, I returned to my usual life smoothly, as if it were a lie. In the midst of all that, I looked at the scheduled appointment list and was surprised. My sister's name was on it. The woman who stole my husband and even got pregnant with him. She still doesn't know that I, in my white coat, am here. Excited to see my sister's reaction, I waited for the nurse to bring her in. My sister, called by her name, responded and opened the door.
Hi, Alyssa.
As I said that, my sister looked at my face, and her face quickly turned pale.
Why are you here?
I was thoroughly satisfied with the expression on her face. Well, because I'm the doctor here.
Huh?
What are you talking about? Surprised? And by the way, Mark is a receptionist in another department. I'm the doctor, and I make a monthly salary of 20K.
That's a lie.
It must be a lie. Oh dear. Mark lied to you, right? Well, he probably thought he could deceive you by pretending to be a doctor. Or maybe you misunderstood and thought he was a doctor just because he works at a hospital. It seems like I hit the nail on the head. You were deceived, huh? Poor thing. But I've already remarried him. Well, so what? Even as a receptionist, he still gets a proper salary, right? No. It's unacceptable. I want to become wealthy, you know? I can't indulge in anything with a receptionist's salary.
Yeah, whoa, you're something.
You can only judge men based on their money and appearance, huh? What else is there to consider? I think I have a vague idea of why you got divorced. When you are with someone who can't see beyond the surface, it becomes empty inside. I'm sure. Well, I doubt you can even understand such things. Anyway, I'm the one who's a doctor and has a high salary. So, what do you think? Should we continue with the examination? You're so annoying. I'll find someone else to consult with. After saying that, my sister stood up and left the examination room. I explained the situation to the surprised nurse, who witnessed the whole thing. As a result, unintentionally, news of my ex-husband's affair with my sister spread through the hospital. Naturally, my ex-husband began to be looked at with cold eyes by his colleagues and nurses. As for my sister, it seems that the reason for her divorce from her previous husband was her own affair. And she couldn't divorce Mark because she had to pay him alimony while raising their child. However, both my ex-in-laws and my own parents were thoroughly disgusted, and they completely severed ties with my sister and ex-husband. Currently, they are living in poverty without any reliable family to rely on. It's quite ironic that my sister, who only acknowledged a wealthy lifestyle, finds herself in such a situation. Although the child is not at fault, I hope they can change their ways and rebuild their lives properly. On the other hand, I had already moved on from this incident, and now I live my days dedicating myself to my patients as usual. I hope that someday I'll have a wonderful encounter, but for now, I want to focus on my work and give it my all. I let out a sigh of relief and decided to go buy a drink. As I walked through the lounge in the hospital, I heard a familiar voice.
You did well with the injection, Asia. Good job.
Yeah, because you said you would take me to the amusement park later. So I did my best, Daddy.
I was stunned when I looked towards the source of the voice. There, I saw none other than my husband. He was sitting in the lounge with an unfamiliar woman and a girl, engaged in conversation. My name is Belle, a 37-year-old interior designer. It has been over 10 years since I graduated from university and started working at a company. As I continued to work diligently on the task in front of me, I found myself being given more and more responsibilities. Before I knew it, I had been promoted to the position of department manager. As a result, I spent my days busy, chasing after numerous tasks. However, amidst the businessness, I have a reason that keeps me going. That source is my daughter, Ivy.
Mommy!
When I go to pick up my daughter from kindergarten, she happily runs towards me. At 5 years old, my daughter is full of curiosity and interested in many things. She eagerly tells me about various things that happen at kindergarten with an excited expression. Just having a conversation with her instantly relieves me from the stress of work. My daughter has become my driving force in life. I genuinely believe she is my most precious treasure. Because of her, I can do my best in both work and household chores. I want to continue watching my daughter grow and thrive by her side.
Ivy, dinner's ready. Yay, I'm hungry.
Having daughter with my daughter is also a soothing time for me. She always enjoys the meals I cook for her. However, there's been a slight concern on my mind recently. Is that my husband always comes home quite late.
Where's Daddy? Can't have dinner together today again?
Well, Daddy seems to be busy with work. I think Daddy works hard because he loves you very much, Ivy.
I see. Then I will stay awake and wait for Daddy to come home.
But we don't know when he'll come back.
It's okay. I'll wait anyway.
My daughter always waits for her father, as she said. However, my husband often comes home around midnight. So in the end, my daughter would fall asleep. Mom. Hey, John. You're late again today, huh? Work has hectic, you know. What about dinner? Sorry, I ate something random at the office. I see. Okay. But lately, you've been having such meals almost every day. Take care of your health, okay? Yeah, I'll be careful. It seems like my husband works overtime almost every day and settles for a random dinner, probably ordering takeouts or nearby deli food from the office. I was extremely worried about the nutritious aspect of his meals. When he was younger, it might not have been much of a problem, but my husband is already in his late 30s. There's a risk of him getting sick if he doesn't take care of his health. However, I couldn't bring myself to restrict my husband's work. He seems to enjoy his current job and has no intention of quitting. I don't have the right to stop him when he doesn't resent it himself. Well, I do wish he could make a little more time for a daughter, but lately he has been working on weekends too. On Sunday is the only day he can spend time with our daughter. Moreover, on Sundays, he sleeps in until the afternoon, completely exhausted. He hardly ever plays with our daughter. A few years ago, his work wasn't as demanding, so he could spend more time with our daughter. But recently, we haven't been able to have much quality time together. It's truly concerning that there is such a lack of interaction between him and our daughter. I thought about giving my husband a gentle admonition. John, it's about Ivy. Can you please make some time for Ivy? Even just a little bit? Ivy looks really lonely and sad because she can't play with you. Even if you say that, work is busy and all.
I understand that, but aren't you always working overtime? Can't you come home a little earlier sometimes? Even just for a short while?
Well, I have responsibilities too, you know.
Ivy always waits for you until the very last minute, you know. She ends up falling asleep every time, and it's really heartbreaking to watch.
Is that so?
Yeah, but she still waits for you every time. My husband seemed surprised to hear that our daughter always waits for him so patiently. He also seemed to feel a bit guilty.
Okay, I understand. I can't guarantee it, but I'll try to come home earlier as much as possible.
Thank you. She would love that. I felt relieved when my husband said that. I knew our daughter would be happy about it. However, just after making the promise, my husband received a business trip assignment.
I'm sorry, but it's a project that only I can handle. And because of that, I won't be able to come home for a week.
Huh?
I'm really sorry, but it's work, so please understand. Once work settles down, I'll make it up to you, okay?
Oh, got it. It can't be helped, right? Although I responded that way, I was disappointed with my husband. Did he prioritize work over our daughter? Normally, family should come before work. It was clear that my husband was prioritizing work over our family. I wasn't particularly happy with that situation. Where did Daddy go? Well, you see, Daddy has to stay somewhere else for work for a little while, starting today. So, I won't be able to see Daddy again? Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, honey. Oh, I have an idea. Instead, how about we go visit Grandma and Grandpa next weekend? Yes, I want to see Grandma and Grandpa. It was quite challenging to cheer up my disappointed daughter. But for the time being, she managed to put on a smile. And during the weekend when my husband was on his business trip, I took my daughter to visit my parents' house.
Hey, girls!
It's been a while, Ivy. You've grown up so much. My parents seemed delighted to see their granddaughter after a long time. My daughter seemed to be having fun playing with my parents. I hoped that spending time with my parents while my husband was away would help lift her spirits. We stayed at my parents' house for 2 days, playing and enjoying ourselves. The 4 of us went to the aquarium and had a great time. By the time we returned home, my daughter was tired and fast asleep in the car. Then, Monday came, and my husband returned from his business trip. Hi, John. How's work?
Hey, good to be back. Sorry for being away for a while.
Well, it's work, so it can't be helped. Besides, Ivy was happy because we visited my parents' house over the weekend.
I see. That's good then.
But I still want you to spend quality time with her, you know?
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Anyway, Ivy's birthday is in 2 months. Promise me that you won't schedule any business trip or overtime work on that day, okay? Got it, I promise. My husband made a promise to prioritize Ivy's birthday and not schedule any work commitment. I wanted us to spend that day together, celebrating and making it a grand occasion. However, even after that, my husband continued to prioritize work and he would come home late. My daughter seemed to have given up on expecting him and rarely said daddy anymore. By the time my husband returned late at night, my daughter would already be asleep and he would leave for work by the time she woke up. Even on his days off, he hardly played with our daughter, which made me quite frustrated. Time flew by, and my daughter's birthday was approaching. We planned a party with her kindergarten friends on a weekday. so my husband couldn't attend. Instead, we planned a family outing. Mommy, where are we going for my birthday? It seemed like my daughter was looking forward to being celebrated on her birthday. Daddy has been thinking about it, you know. Really? Can I spend time with Daddy? Yeah, of course. Yay! My daughter seemed happy about being able to spend time with her father. I was also delighted to see her smile. I thought her birthday would be a wonderful time for us. However, I'm sorry, but there was being a sudden request for me to handle something on Ivy's birthday. My husband said something like that to me. Huh? What are you saying? We've had it planned for 2 months. You were supposed to keep that day free. My colleague was supposed to go on that business trip, but something came up. And he couldn't go, so... You should have said no. Celebrating Ivy's birthday was decided a long time ago. I'm sorry, but please, understand. Can you explain it to her in a way she'll understand? I can't believe this. You don't really care about her, do you? No, that's not true. I've been working hard to provide for Ivy's life and... Well, I can support my daughter's life on my own with my earnings. I felt like I said something I shouldn't have. In the next moment, my husband's eyes widened and he was pissed off. So you're looking down on me after all, huh? Well, you're the one earning more money anyway. We're not talking about that right now, are we? Besides, I'm not looking down on you. I'm not sure about that. Aren't you poisoning Ivy's mind against me? I'm not doing such a thing. Do you have any idea how much I've defended you? I can't trust you. My husband became completely angry. And from that point on, we couldn't have a proper conversation. Several days passed without us speaking to each other. And then, I mustered up the courage to explain to my daughter. Ivy, I'm sorry, it's about Daddy, but Daddy has a sudden business trip, so it seems like we won't be able to celebrate together. My daughter looked very sad. This time, tears were flowing. I tightly hugged her. I'm sorry. Mommy will fulfill any wishes you have instead of Daddy. Even so, my daughter continued to cry, deeply saddened by the fact that her father wouldn't be celebrating with her. Eventually, she cried herself to sleep. But I couldn't forgive my husband for making our daughter so sad. If he continued to neglect our family like this, divorce had to be considered. I thought that for the sake of my daughter. On my daughter's birthday, I took a day off and decided to go to my parents' house with her. I wanted to celebrate my daughter's birthday with my parents instead of my husband. But as I was preparing to go out with my daughter, I noticed that she had a high temperature. She seemed to be having trouble breathing. Ivy, are you okay? I said, placing my hand on my daughter's forehead. Hold on a sec. You're burning up. My daughter looked increasingly distressed, with sweat pouring down her face. She had an extremely high fever. I immediately called for an ambulance. Soon enough, the ambulance arrived and my daughter was taken to the hospital. I contacted my parents and waited with them at the hospital for my daughter's treatment to be completed. Thanks to the prompt medical care, my daughter's condition stabilized and she was allowed to go home a few hours later. Feeling relieved, I decided to go and buy drinks for my parents and myself. As I walked through the hospital lounge, I heard a familiar voice. You did well with the injection, Asia. Good job. Yeah, because you said you would take me to the amusement park later. So I did my best, Daddy. I turned to look in the direction of the voice and was speechless. There, I saw my husband. He was in a lounge, talking with an unfamiliar woman and her daughter. In an instant, everything became clear to me. And surprisingly calm, I approached my husband from behind and spoke to him. "John, it seems like your business trip is already over, huh?" When I called out to him, my husband turned around and looked shocked, as if he had seen a ghost.
"But Belle? Why are you here?"
"Ivy had a high fever and was taken here. But more importantly, why are you here when you were supposed to be on a business trip?" I said that while glancing briefly at the woman. The woman who was with my husband looked awkward and kept her head down.
"Well, this is...
My husband was desperately trying to come up with an excuse. "I heard someone calling you daddy earlier." "Hello, sweetheart? Is this man your father?" I asked the girl who was with my husband and the woman. The girl replied, "Not married yet, but I can call him daddy. They're gonna get married soon." She explained it succinctly. "Wow, is that so?" I looked at my husband. He had a pale face and was frozen, unable to come up with any more excuses. "So you've been betraying Ivy and me, having an affair all this time?"
No, it's not like that."
"What about the business trip? What about the overtime? It's truly disgusting. I thought you were working hard, but instead you were screwing around with another woman. You are a real scumbag." As I said that, my husband became defensive.
"It's your fault."
"Huh? My fault? What kind of reasoning is that?"
"You earn more money than me, and it hurts my pride. She was kind and comforting to me, unlike you. So I love her more than I do for you."
"Oh, really? Then let's get a divorce. And of course I'll be taking alimony. So be prepared for that. Oh, and yes, you've been paying child support too."
Wait a minute. I can't afford to pay all that."
"Who cares? You betrayed me and our daughter. It's only natural that you pay the consequences for that." "Well then, I'll go back to Ivy." Saying that, I left the scene, leaving behind my husband and his affair partner, both pale-faced. Afterwards, through a lawyer, I demanded compensation from my husband and his affair partner. I also requested child support, as I said. He had to pay alimony and child support from his meager salary, and he also had to provide for his affair partner and their child. As a result, his entire income has been used up every month. Furthermore, my in-laws disowned him, and he had no one else to rely on. By the way, I reported the affair to my ex-husband's colleagues. He is now viewed coldly at work as a scumbag who betrayed his promise to his daughter and prioritized his affair partner and their child. However, due to the debts from the compensation and the expenses related to his affair partner, he couldn't quit his job and was living in a stressful life. On the other hand, I returned to my parents' house and we lived together as a family of 4. I work hard while taking care of my daughter. My daughter seems to have lost interest in her father and has naturally started smiling again. "I want to be like mommy, 'cause I want to be a cool person like mommy." Recently, my daughter has been saying such delightful things. "Really? Then mommy will become an even cooler mommy." I want to protect my daughter's smile and this family. I'll continue to work hard in my job and be a role model for my daughter.